to them. George right now, once I saw how committed he was, he just bought a house for his mom and dad. You guys saw me talking about this in the video. He just bought a house for his mom and dad in a big land in Agua Dulce. They breed German Shepherds. What a job. Can you imagine? I call that, what do you call it when you're breeding German Shepherds? There's got to be a word for that. Like, would you call that animal pornography? What do you do for a living? I just watch German Shepherds go at it. Pays for 6 figures per year. Pays for 6 figures per year. This is on live here, so someone out there saw it and said, "Did you hear what the CO?" In trouble with that one. Anyway, so his parents are now making 6 figures off of that. 6 figures. So imagine he does this business, wants his parents to retire, helps buy a house for them, invest into their business to get them started. Now they're making $8,000 a month, fully retire for the rest of their life. Think about that part. Buys a $100-some-thousand car, lives in the most incredible place for himself, got a bunch of savings, but he got serious. Same with Cindy. Cindy's now got a ton of things going on for herself, buying investment properties, went to Haiti for a big ministry she went towards, and Vargas, and so we keep looking for different leaders. This leg is a different story. If MSN continues to grow and takes it to a whole different level, and the team stays very aligned, very strong together, all that stuff being together, where everyone's growing, they're playing as a team. I'm here once a month, every single month, and my focus is going to be, hey, Rosa, what you got going on? We got to go have a meeting together, pick 3 guys, we're talking comedy conversation. Jonathan's picking it up, let's go have a meeting. Hey, this for Victor and Anna. Obviously, right now, the dominant non-MDs in the entire office. What I hear, the numbers I see, no one's out doing these guys currently today, could change in the next week or two. But as of right now, when I hear non-MD, they're crushing everybody in the company. I'm proud of these guys. We have something. They did 12 RIs, 10 KTPs, and 2 fast starts last week. Is that accurate numbers? Those are the numbers we talked about, right?
We had included them all together.
That's totally fine. Yeah, but you did it together. 4 direct, 7 in the base. They're submitting 12K next week, something like that. You were telling me these numbers. And their story from where they went to where they are now. We're looking for all these stories. And just so you know, I tend to pay attention to everything. I watch everything. I watch mannerisms. I watch etiquette. I watch culture. I watch character. I watch habits. I watch protection. I watch, fooling around. I watch all this stuff. I watch everything, because we're trying to build a company that's going to have a message go around the world of entrepreneurship. And to do that, we need a lot of strong leaders that are going to go behind this. It's not going to be something that's going to be like you guys. Money is very important to make. Let me tell you, money is very important to make. And money is not very hard to make. Before you make money, you think it's very hard, right? Just think about this for a moment here. Before you make money, what do you think money is? Very hard to make money, right? Think about before you have a kid, what do you think? You're like, I don't know if I can raise a kid. Then there's 113 billion people that have been born and dead. That's the total number, apparently, what scientists say. 113 billion. Many have had kids, many have done it. Making money and becoming a millionaire is not a difficult thing. 1 in 1,000 people in America today are millionaires. Did you know that? 1 in people you meet make $1 million your income. Let me say that one more time. 1 in 1,000 today makes $1 million your income, which makes it what? Not that big of a deal. If it was 1 in 1,000,000 people make $1 million your income, guess what that is? That's a lot. We're talking 1 in 1,000. That ain't a big number. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing which of you guys are going to rise up in this office and get a chance to take the business to a whole different level, especially what things are going on right now with the company. When Berkshire Hathaway comes and visits you, as often as they are now, people are coming and saying, hey, what's going on? Anybody knows Berkshire Hathaway? Yes. It's owned by who? It's owned by But when some of their people are coming to the office and just visiting us saying, hey, we keep hearing about what you guys got going on, something's going on. People are paying very, very close attention to this company right now. I wouldn't want to be somebody that misses the equity side of this business here. But how many of you guys have no clue about my story? Who has no idea how I got started? Most of you guys do. Who has no idea? 5 people don't. Everybody else. If it's 20, I'll say it. Who doesn't know it? Raise that hand. Okay, I'll give you the shorter version. Okay, born in Iran. Escaped Iran on July 15th, 89. Lived there 10 years. Khomeini died. 6 weeks later, we leave. I go to Germany. Live in a refugee camp in Germany for a year and a half, 2 years. Come to the States November 28th, 1990 to America. We moved to Glendale, California. It's like mandatory for Middle Easterns to go to Glendale, California. Everyone in Glendale looks like this. They just have more facial hair than I do. They have big noses, big ears, they like him and I. This is how I go to school. I don't do very well. I come from a broken family. My mom and dad got a divorce when I was 11, 12 years old. And go to high school, have a 1.8 GPA in high school. Anybody impressed with that? 1.8 GPA, literally a 1.8 GPA in high school. Who took the ASVAB test and remembers their score? No one remembers. What was your score? Tell me your score.
43.
What was that? What was yours? You got 83 on your ASVAB? I'm embarrassed to share my score. I got 31 on my ASVAB. You know what 31 is? That's why you work at Burger King. That's where I work. I worked at Burger King. I worked at Burger King, Bob's Big Boy, and Haagen-Dazs. Anybody impressed? Haagen-Dazs was my first job. The other day, we took Tico and dinner to school. So hilarious. We take him to school. And Tico's just fired up to go to school. The 4-year-old. He's just ecstatic. He is like completely, he's so curious. He wants to learn everything. So Dylan is kind of like, how dare my mom and dad leave me with some stranger? That's Dylan. Complete opposite personalities, right? We take him to school. I'm looking at my wife's like, babe, there's a code here you gotta press. This is a very secure place. There's cameras everywhere. Do you see the cameras? There's cameras everywhere. Then there's the second code, and it's important for you to remember this code, and you don't want to put it somewhere that if somebody finds your phone to get the code. Holy, man, I'm like very protected. I like to go in. And I'm like, so everybody, this place, no one comes in. The doors are only set up this way. There's people at the doors. There's cops here all the time. Wow, is this a prison or private school? So then I started thinking about, how did my dad take me to school? Here's what happened when I went to school anyway. Remember, no technology, no tracking. It's just kind of like, hey, come on, guys, let's go to this class. What we're going to teach you today? We teach you what happens when this goes through this, right? Just things like this in Iran. So this is how my dad says to my mom, you can do whatever you want to do with your daughter, but I'm taking my son to school. I'm like, okay, Dad, we're going to school. And I'm going to kindergarten for the first time. 5 years old. Just turned 5. So we're going to kindergarten. We'll go to the school called Blue Banking. It's called Blue Banking. It's a private school for boys only. Right? Miserable, but it's private. So I go to the school, and my dad, this is exactly how my dad is. My dad stands by the gate. He says, go, put a line. Sit down. Everyone's praying for faith. This is how life is. You got to figure it out. Sit down. 5 years old. Go stand in line, that's your line. That's it. It sounds like walking in front of anybody. And I'm going to stand in the kindergarten line. Then one of my friend's relatives in first grade says, hey, you stand in this line. I said, yeah, I know you. So I go and stand in for 3 months. Nobody knows in first grade. And they said, I come home, my mom's like, what are you learning? I said, Mom, this is what I learned today. You're in kindergarten. No, Mom, I'm in first grade. No. Mom, I'm in first grade. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop saying that. So why don't you go to school? I'm in first grade. And then at that point, the school said, we've already screwed up. What are we going to do? I was a 16-year-old senior in high school. Is that nothing to do with my grades. You see all this technology now where everything is tracked. No, you can't. You got to be born by August 31st. Back then, it's just like, we call it nothing. So we come to the States, live in Glendale. I go to the military afterwards. This is the key of follow-up. My recruiter's name was Jesus Guerrera. Okay, he prospected me at 14 and followed up every single year, and then eventually I got recruited to the Army at 17 years old. Got into the Army, had a blast. One thing about the Army is, people go there from Iowa. People are there from South Dakota, North Dakota, sometimes Mississippi, sometimes Alabama. They've never seen a Middle Eastern in their life. And we're in formation. And so, hey, Private, where are you from, Private? Chicago, where are you from? Where are you born? This place. Where are you born? How about you, Private?
What's your last name? Private Benavante? What is that? David? They made a mistake. They put Bet David with a T at the end. They didn't put a D. My entire military idea is completely screwed up. So, hey, but David, where are you from? I was born in Tehran, Iraq. What were you born? Tehran, Iraq. Let formation finish, right? And you're trying to make friends. Hey, bro. Hey. Nothing, right? Here's an Iranian guy. Who knows what this guy does for a living? Spy? Are you a spy, but David? I'm not a spy. I'm just here in the military. Anyways, that was a good time in the military. Get out. I wanted to be the Middle Eastern Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was going to be a bodybuilder, Hollywood, the whole nine. And then I realized I don't want that life. It's a very annoying life. You don't make a lot of money. You got to put a lot of syringes in your body. It's definitely not a really good. These guys have terrible health. It's a lot of stuff you got to do to your body. So I took a different route. And I'm working at Bally's. And at Bally's, I talked to a bunch of different people to find an industry. I found this industry, financial industry, got started the day before 9/11 with Morgan Stanley in Woodard. Left Morgan, went to Transamerica. At that time, World Financial Group. Some of you guys may have heard of that. We're there with them for about 7.5 years. I went all over the world. And then October of 2009, we started PHP. And when we started PHP, the vision was simply built on one thing. And I'll tell you exactly what this is, then I'll go into my message. 2008 was a very strange year for me. Anybody's ever been bored out of their minds? Raise your hand if you've ever been bored out of your mind. You know what we do when we're bored? Stupid things. We throw siphons all the way down here. You ever see people with strange like goatees? You're like, this dude is absolutely bored. We highlight our hair green. You're bored. You know, we try the strangest things when we're bored. So 2008 was a boring year for me because I'm making the money, I have the car, I have the girl, all this stuff that I want. The accolades, the recognition, the speaking, all the stuff that I was dreaming about one day happening, it happened. So now, like, what from here, right? Because there's got to be bigger things than this when you really go back and take inventory of your life. For me, it's got to be a bigger cause. And I'll tell you what happened with me in 2008. I gathered my mentors and my advisors and said, listen, I got to find a bigger calling, a cause tied to my industry because I love the industry. I have found how I'm going to make my money. This is what I'm going to do professionally. I love this business. It's fascinating. There's no limit on how much money I can make. I love it. But I want to know, can something bigger be tied to this, right? So I meet my mentors. I meet my advisors. We go and we meet with Pat Boone. Anyone knows Pat Boone? Yes. If you know Pat Boone, we kind of know your age, just so you know that. If you don't know Pat Boone, we also know your age. I asked him, I was in Bakersfield. I said, who knows who Pat Boone is? A baseball player? Because there's a baseball player, second baseman, if you remember, his name was Pat Boone. So, or was it Brett Boone? I think it was Pat Brett Boone. I think Brett Boone, was it Brett Boone? Who knows on that? Brett Boone, okay. So I go meet with Pat Boone, I meet with George Will. At this point, I don't know who these people are. And then they told me who Pat Boone was, toured with, Elvis and all these other guys back in the days. So I'm sitting with Pat Boone and George Will, and George Will was a former president, advisor, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, look, I want to do something big with my life. What is it I want to do? I said, I don't know, but I want to do something big with my life, and I want to get clear about it. He says, really, if you truly want to do something, why don't you go out there and figure out why so many immigrants come to America? Go figure that out. I said, what do you mean? He says, honestly, go do some study, research, and find out why immigrants come to America. And then go tell that story to the world, if you really want to impact. So I come back, and 3 weeks later, I propose to my wife on March 29th. Then I get obsessed about studying why we came to America. Then I started asking everybody around me who were immigrants, why'd you come to America? Why did your family come to America? I started asking parents. I started studying this. I started studying the subject. And then I realized one of the reasons why people come to America, you know what we don't come to America for? Let me tell you what we don't come to America for. How many of you, would you say people, immigrants from other companies come to America for Section 8? No. Do you think people come to America because of welfare? No. Do you think they come to America because of Social Security? No. Do you think they come here for Obamacare? No. What do you think they come here for? You know what happens? Let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens. My opinion. You could absolutely disagree with me. It's purely my opinion. We never come here for governmental benefits. We come here to be left the hell alone. We come here to have the opportunity for me to get my butt to work and make as much money as I want to make, and you don't bother me. Right. Then we come to America. You have these politicians to earn you and I's vote
convince you and I that we need these programs. Then we subscribe to these programs. Then we're tied and we're entitled. We feel we need these programs and the government owns us for the rest of our lives. Then we don't ever find out our full potential. You know how many people this happens to? All the time. All the time. No one ever comes here wanting welfare. Remember the first time? Who's an immigrant that remembers the first time they came to America? Like you remember when you came to America. I remember. Listen, when we landed, it was like, where's Rocky?
Flying high now.
Where's Scarface? Where's Scarface? Miami. All these movies, right? You're thinking you're going to run in. Hey, how you doing? Bobby Rocky. So then all of a sudden it was like, wow, we're in America. You know, like it was ridiculous. First time we went to Sizzlers, my mom was like, today we're going to go to one of the most high-class restaurants. Next day at school, you know what we ate last night? You know, we went to Sizzlers last night. And some of the kids had Monday, they're like, oh, that place is terrible. That place is amazing. Some people go to Sizzlers, and then you start experiencing as a kid, you know, the whole... But I think people come to America for purity, freedom, to have the opportunity to have a meeting like this, have cameras all over the place, and have the opportunity to say what you want to say, what's on your mind, whether people agree with you or not. You can agree, disagree. You can be a Christian, Mormon, Jehovah's, Seventh-day, atheist, agnostic, confused, whatever you want to be. You can be a Democrat, you can be a Republican, you can be an independent, you can be a libertarian, you can be a communist, you can be a socialist, you can be somebody that could care less about politics. You can absolutely love Trump, you can absolutely hate Trump, you could care less about Trump, you could love Hillary, you could hate Hillary, you could absolutely care less about Hillary, you can feel the burn with Bernie, you can say Ted Cruz is trust Ted, whatever you want to say. It's okay. We'll probably have a little bit of fights with other people, nowadays especially, but we'll be okay. This is America. So it's always good to go back to be reminded of that, because once I did that, and I took an inventory of my own life and what happened with me, where I go from being an average guy that no one expected anything special from happening with this guy. I come from a broken family, Middle East, so my mom and dad get a divorce. It's disastrous when it happens in the Middle East. It's a lot of criticism. It's a lot of, I don't know what word to use. It's a lot of, it's always like, oh, poor Patrick, he's not going to do anything. He comes from a divorce. It's like that energy the entire time. You don't get invited to family gatherings because you're not together, so they're awkward. Very strange, this community you're raised in. And then I can come to America, 1.8 GPA guy. I can become an entrepreneur and build a life I want to build and make an impact around the world and teach people about the importance of entrepreneurship. And now we got 500,000 people on a daily basis who watch the content that we share. And out of the 500,000, maybe 100,000 is out of America. 400,000 is not from America. We're getting people that are traveling from Malaysia, Korea, Japan, China, Argentina, that are just coming, dropping by just to saying, listen, you have no idea how much this message of entrepreneurship is changing my life. That's what fires me up. Until the day I die, I'm going to inject the spirit of entrepreneurship into anybody I come across.
Yes.
Because I think when you figure that part out and you realize you can make money on your own, you know what happens to you? It's liberating. So that story went into PHP, and PHP became what it is now, and we're in our 6th year. And you know when explosion phase happens with companies like ours? Year 7 to 15. We got 7 months to get to year 7, and you got 7 months to get yourself to marketing director and start building other entities to take advantage of this financial opportunity after yourself. Fair enough, guys?
Yep.
So now, that's my story. Let me get into my message now with you. Okay. So look.